Chosen one, the crown is yours. God made the final call. The divine council has spoken. Heaven's courtroom has come to a decision that no man, no circumstance, no delay, and no enemy can overturn. The verdict is clear. The final call has been made. The crown is no longer pending. The wait is over. The trials were not in vain. The tests served their purpose. You stood your ground. You held your peace. You wrestled in silence, and you overcame battles that would have destroyed others. But now it is time to rise, because the crown has been placed, not just metaphorically, not just symbolically, but spiritually and prophetically. The mantle of royalty has landed upon your life. This isn't just a season of blessings. This is the divine coronation of your soul. You are walking into a reality that was written for you before time even knew your name. You were chosen before you were born, and now the call has matured. The universe is aligning. Angelic forces are being dispatched. Manifestation is accelerating. Watch this video until the very end, because this message is meant to activate your atmosphere. And write your warmest wishes and 99 in the comments below. Speak from your soul. Energize the universe with your words, and allow that energy to come back to you multiplied. This is the moment where wishes turn into wisdom, and wisdom turns into wonders. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. Chosen one, the crown isn't something you earned through perfection. It's something you received through persistence. You didn't always feel chosen. There were times you felt forgotten, even forsaken. You watched others rise while you sat in silence, wondering if your turn would ever come. You endured betrayals that cut deeply, setbacks that stole your strength, and delays that tested your faith. But none of it broke you. It shaped you. It sculpted your identity. Every valley prepared your spirit for higher altitudes. Every tear watered the soil of destiny. Every rejection refined your purpose. You are not being crowned out of pity. You are being crowned because of prophecy. This is not about man's validation. It's about heaven's authorization. You're being set apart not because of luck, but because of legacy. Your footsteps have been guided by something far greater than logic. Every detour, every delay, every disappointment, it all served a holy function. What looked like isolation was really divine incubation. And now, what's being birthed is not just a breakthrough, but a reign. This reign is spiritual, it is mental, it is emotional, and yes, it is financial. The resources that once eluded you will now be attracted to you. The connections that once ignored you will now be drawn to your light. The opportunities that were delayed are now being delivered on divine time. But more than material abundance, you are stepping into dominion. You are stepping into influence, peace, and protection. Your voice is being amplified. Your energy is being magnified. The crown doesn't make you better than anyone else. It reminds you that you were never beneath. This is what your soul has been preparing for. The reason you were misunderstood was because you were ahead of your time. The reason you felt disconnected was because your spirit couldn't be tied to anything temporary. And now you're about to understand why the wilderness lasted so long. It wasn't punishment. It was preservation. You weren't being denied, you were being developed. Now the version of you that's emerging is crowned with authority, dressed in divine confidence, and wrapped in anointing that can't be counterfeited. You won't need to announce your arrival. Your presence will speak for itself. The crown will be visible, not just in appearance, but in alignment. Doors will open without force. People will be drawn to you without manipulation. Favor will find you without striving. Because the crown comes with a frequency. It emits a vibration that signals heaven's favor. And now that it's placed on your spirit, everything around you will start responding to it. Your finances, your relationships, your health, your opportunities. They will all begin to reflect the royalty that's within you. You are not walking into blessings timidly. You are stepping into your inheritance boldly, not with arrogance, but with assurance, not with pride, but with purpose. You are not who they said you were. You are who God designed you to be. The real you is emerging now, the one that's fearless, wise, wealthy in spirit, and aligned with divine timing. There is no more waiting for confirmation. The confirmation is in the call. The evidence is in the elevation, and the rise cannot be reversed. Chosen one, what you're feeling right now is the cracking of the old shell. The limits, the doubts, the past definitions, they're all breaking. And in their place, something radiant is taking form. A version of you that carries power with humility. A version that attracts without chasing. A version that leads without needing control. A version that blesses without needing recognition. That's royalty. That's who you've always been at your core. There will be people who question this rise. They'll ask, who gave you the right? And the answer is simple. God did. Not man, not chance, not effort. God made the final call. He saw what others overlooked. He knew the battles you faced in silence. He heard the prayers you whispered when you had no more strength. He watched you get up every time life knocked you down. He watched you keep loving when hate would have been easier. And that is why he said, crown them. It's time. You are walking into a period where even your presence will shift rooms. Even your silence will carry weight. Even your decisions will ripple through generations. Because this isn't just a blessing for you. It's a transfer of power for everything connected to you. Your family will feel it. Your lineage will reflect it. Your atmosphere will change to match it. What once intimidated you will now bow before you. Not because of ego, but because of the authority God placed on you. The roads ahead may not be without challenge, but you will no longer fight like a victim. You will reign like a victor. The mindset is changing. The energy is evolving. You will no longer speak like someone waiting to be chosen. You will speak like someone who knows they are crowned. You will walk like someone who knows the throne isn't coming. It's already here. It's not a hope anymore. It's a reality. This is why your enemies couldn't destroy you. This is why the confusion couldn't consume you. This is why, despite all the odds, you still had breath. Because you were never meant to bow to the pressure of this world. You were built to rise above it. And now you will lead. You will inspire. You will create. You will heal. You will reign, not from ego, but from essence. The final call has been made. The crown is yours. You don't need to earn it anymore. Just walk in it. Let the world adjust to your new frequency. You are no longer the one overlooked. You are the one ordained. And when God makes the final call, no force in the universe can override it. No opinion, no delay, no obstacle can silence a destiny that was spoken by heaven itself. You have stepped into your coronation. The season of striving is over. The season of reigning has begun. You are crowned. You are confirmed. And most importantly, you are called. Chosen one, now that the crown rests on your spirit, everything about your life is shifting to match this new identity. You are no longer moving through life as someone seeking permission. You are now operating from divine position. And with position comes perspective. You begin to see yourself, your path, your past, and your future from a higher view. Not through the lens of pain or the fog of delay, but from the clarity of calling. You now understand that nothing was wasted. Not one tear, not one trial, not one night of questioning. All of it carried the hidden blueprint of your divine installation. You're stepping into a realm where purpose becomes precision. You will no longer wonder if you're doing the right thing. You'll feel it in your bones. Your spirit will confirm the direction because the crown comes with clarity. It brings inner knowing. You'll start to move with less doubt and more alignment. No more trying to convince people of your worth. No more trying to fit where you don't belong. The crown has removed all need for approval. You are divinely verified, chosen by God, validated by purpose, approved by destiny. Your footsteps are now guided by divine intelligence. What once felt random is now revealed to be strategic. The doors that closed weren't rejections, they were protections. The delays weren't failures, they were filters, separating you from what was never meant for you. And now, because you've passed the tests of patience and perseverance, the gates are opening. Not just one opportunity, but many. Not just provision, but overflow. Not just influence, but legacy. You've been anointed for something massive, and your spirit knows it. This is why the weight on your shoulders was so heavy. Because your purpose is not light. It carries the impact of generations. You weren't just being prepared for personal success, you were being groomed to be a light for others. You carry wisdom forged in the fire of experience. Your scars are sacred scrolls, proof that you walked through storms and still remembered who you were. The crown doesn't erase your pain, it redeems it. It turns it into power. It turns shame into honor, silence into strength, and rejection into redirection. And now, you'll begin to feel a new level of grace over your life. Conversations will shift. Rooms will feel different. You'll walk into spaces and feel the atmosphere respond to you. Not because of ego, but because of energy. Because you are aligned with divine favor. You are marked with invisible oil. The glow is not just physical, it's spiritual. People will sense that you've been touched by something holy, and they'll either be drawn to it or uncomfortable around it. That's the price of the crown. It clarifies your circle. It reveals who's truly meant to walk this new journey with you. Chosen one. This rise is not meant to isolate you. It's meant to elevate you. But with elevation comes separation. There are certain people, places, and patterns that cannot go with you where you're headed. And that's not personal. It's prophetic. Some connections were only meant for a season, not a destiny. And when God makes the final call, He clears the way. He removes what no longer aligns. Trust this process, even when it feels lonely. Because what's ahead is greater than what's behind. What's being placed into your hands is far more powerful than anything you've lost. Your life is now a vessel for divine demonstration. You will no longer speak of potential. You will live it. You will no longer pray for the breakthrough. You will walk in it. The days of doubt are done. The days of delay are over. You are entering the manifestation zone, where thoughts become things and visions turn into reality. What you speak will shape your environment. What you believe will build your new world. This is not hype. It is holy design. This is not imagination. It is divine instruction unfolding. There is now a rhythm to your life that matches your royalty. You're not rushing. You're rising. You're not chasing. You're attracting. You're not striving. You're aligning. You're not begging. You're commanding. Because that's what the crown activates in you. It reminds your soul that you are not a beggar of blessings. You are a carrier of heaven's energy. You don't need to perform to be loved. You don't need to impress to be worthy. You are enough as you are, and you are chosen for what's next. And what's next is glory. Not the kind of glory that comes from applause, but the kind that radiates from within. The kind that moves silently, yet shakes foundations. The kind that turns ordinary moments into divine miracles. The kind that causes people to look at you and see the hand of God in motion. You're not stepping into a spotlight. You're stepping into a divine alignment. And everything that happens from this point forward will reflect that alignment. Your name is being spoken in rooms you haven't entered yet. Your favor is being announced in spiritual realms before it hits the physical. Every seed you've sown, Every sacrifice you've made, every time you kept your heart clean when bitterness tried to take over, it's all returning to you now in multiplied form. And not just in finances, in peace, in clarity, in power, in presence, in discernment. You're not just going to be successful, you're going to be significant. People will ask you, how did this happen? And your answer will be simple. God made the final call. You didn't manipulate your way to the top. You didn't compete, compromise, or chase. You just stayed the course. You listened when it was hard. You surrendered when it made no sense. And now the reward isn't just external, it's internal. The real blessing is who you've become. The authority you carry, the peace you wear, the light you radiate. Let it be known, this rise is sacred, it is unstoppable, it is untouchable, because it is authored by the one who never loses. And if God has crowned you, no one can cancel you. If God has called you, no man can correct that call. If God has elevated you, no system, no opposition, no plot can bring you down. You are now operating under a divine decree. You are now moving with heavenly momentum. You are now protected by a frequency that the enemy can't decode. So don't shrink. Don't play small. Don't dim your light just to keep others comfortable. Shine fully. Rise completely. Reign confidently. The world doesn't need a watered-down version of you. The world needs the crowned you, the bold you, the fearless, radiant, heaven-backed you. You are not stepping into this for a moment. You are stepping into this for a movement of power, of clarity, of alignment, of wealth, of divine influence. And it starts now. The crown is not a metaphor anymore. It's your spiritual signature. Wear it well. Walk with it boldly. Let your life be the proof that when God makes the final call, everything changes. Chosen one, this is the part of your life where the narrative transforms. No more rehearsing the old stories. No more repeating the identity they tried to place on you. That version of you, the one who had to survive, who had to explain, who had to endure, is being retired. The crowned version of you doesn't beg to be seen. You are already seen by the one who matters. That's why he made the final call. You're being upgraded not because of popularity, but because of prophecy. Not because of credentials, but because of character. God watched how you handled the seasons that made no sense. He saw how you still poured into others while you were being emptied. How you remained honest when compromise would have been easier. That's why this rise can't be undone. It's too deep, it's too divine, and it's too deserved. Let this truth sink in. You are not the underdog anymore. You are not the outsider anymore. You are not the forgotten seed buried in the soil. You are the chosen one, rising like a harvest ordained by heaven. Everything that once looked like it was working against you is now turning around for your recognition. But not recognition that inflates the ego. Recognition that honors your essence, the real you, the soul version of you, the version heaven crowned long before the world noticed. This crown carries weight, yes, but it also carries ease. There's a rhythm to divine royalty. You'll find yourself doing less, but producing more. You'll speak less, but your words will echo louder. You'll wait less, because you now attract what once had to be chased. That's the beauty of alignment. That's what happens when you stop trying to force your way into spaces and instead allow God to place you in rooms that were built around your energy. And don't be surprised when people begin to see the shift in you. Some will marvel. Some will mock. Some will misunderstand. That's okay. The crown doesn't need validation to function. You're not called to convince. You're called to carry. Carry the light. Carry the wisdom. Carry the truth of who you are and whose you are. You are royalty wrapped in authenticity. And you are rising in a way that no algorithm, no trend, no earthly structure can duplicate. This is not the type of success that fizzles out. This is not a fleeting moment of hype. This is sustained excellence birthed from divine alignment. Your elevation isn't built on sand, it's built on surrender. Your influence is not performance, it's presence. You've graduated from the school of trials and now you're entering the field of triumph. But here's the secret. The real triumph was never about the outer world. It was about mastering the inner one. That's what the crown represents. Mastery of self. Authority over your energy. Ownership of your voice. And the ability to shift the atmosphere just by walking into a space. The people who once doubted you will have no choice but to witness the new you, and they'll wonder what changed. But it won't be what. It will be who. You finally aligned with the divine version of yourself. You finally stopped apologizing for your greatness. You finally said yes to the calling that was always whispering in your soul. And now, the kingdom within you is activated. What you speak is backed by a spiritual decree. What you touch multiplies. What you envision becomes inevitable. You've tapped into the frequency of fulfillment. And that's why doors are opening. That's why favor is flooding. That's why even your silence is shaking things. Because your energy now holds the signature of someone who knows they've been chosen. It's important that you know this. You didn't miss your moment. You didn't fall behind. You didn't lose the promise. Everything is arriving on divine time. Because the crown doesn't operate on man's schedule. It operates on kingdom rhythm. And right now the rhythm is speeding up. You are accelerating. What would have taken others decades will take you months. What once felt out of reach is now being placed in your hand. Not because of striving, but because of surrender. Chosen one. Don't fear the visibility that's coming. Don't shrink from the influence that's forming. You were designed for this level. You were wired for this magnitude. God didn't crown you to hide you. He crowned you to highlight you. To position you where your impact can't be ignored. You don't have to chase clout. You carry divine clout. You don't have to imitate others. You are an original blueprint. And everything about your journey reflects that uniqueness. From this moment forward, walk like it's already yours. Speak like you've already won. Move like the crown is permanent, because it is. The crown doesn't expire. It doesn't rust. It doesn't fade with time. It grows in glory. And so do you. You'll find yourself outgrowing old mindsets, outdated habits, and environments that no longer reflect your royalty. That's not arrogance. It's alignment. You're just stepping into the rooms that mirror your new identity. And in these rooms, you won't need to posture. You won't need to impress. You'll simply be. Your energy will do the work. Your grace will speak before you utter a word. Because the crown enhances your frequency. You no longer just live. You lead. You no longer just react. You respond with vision. You no longer just survive. You sculpt reality. You've entered your ruler season. Not to control others, but to command your own life. To govern your time. To curate your joy. To guard your energy. And to reign in your lane. This is where power meets peace. Where purpose meets prosperity. Where the divine meets the daily. And it all stems from that final call. God saw everything. Every tear, every prayer, every silent scream. And then, he made his decision. Crown them, elevate them, reveal them. And now, that word is manifesting. Not just in theory, but in reality. The universe is responding. The people are noticing. The blessings are multiplying. And your crown is glowing. Let it glow unapologetically. You don't have to downplay your breakthrough to make others comfortable. You don't have to shrink so others feel tall. You've done enough hiding. You've done enough waiting. This is your reveal. This is your moment. And it's not coming because of external validation. It's coming because of internal transformation. You've been called to lead with compassion, to influence with integrity, to rise with reverence, and to reign with rootedness. That's what divine royalty looks like. That's what makes your crown different from the world's idea of success. Yours comes with peace. Yours comes with legacy. Yours comes with eternal alignment. The final call has already gone forth. All that's left is for you to rise to it, to become what was always inside of you, to walk it, breathe it, live it. You are the chosen one, and the crown is already yours. Chosen one. When the crown is placed, everything must bow. Not people, energy, environments, patterns, cycles. The crown you now carry doesn't just change how the world sees you, it changes what is allowed to access you. You are no longer accessible to confusion, no longer available for chaos, no longer receptive to lack. You are not aligned with drama, doubt, or delay. You are aligned with favor, clarity, and divine flow. You've stepped into a spiritual posture that makes room for royalty. You don't beg for what already has your name on it. You no longer seek access. You are the access. When God made the final call to crown you, He simultaneously upgraded your authority in both the seen and unseen realms. What used to resist you will now recognize you. What once ignored you will now respond instantly. Your identity has become your influence. Your alignment has become your anointing. And now you must understand how to live as the crowned one. This is not about pretending to be powerful. It's about remembering that you always were. But now, the awareness has caught up. The crown didn't give you power. It revealed it. The confirmation didn't make you special. It announced what heaven already decreed. You've always been set apart, but now the set time has come for that separation to be seen, felt, and respected. The next phase of your life requires a new level of discipline. The crown comes with clarity, but clarity requires boundaries. You can't entertain distractions and expect divine momentum. You can't keep revisiting your past and expect to walk in your future. The crown is your reminder that you don't live by impulse anymore. You live by instruction. You're not led by emotion. You're led by energy, by intuition, by insight from the source. When God called you, He calibrated your spirit to sense what others miss. That's part of the anointing. You see the deeper currents. You discern what's not spoken. You perceive before others process. And because of that, you must honor your energy like royalty honors their throne. You don't let just anyone near it. You don't allow just any voice to speak into it. You don't explain yourself to everyone who doesn't understand your elevation. You don't plead with people to see what God already confirmed. That part is over. Now you lead with silence and prove with presence. You let your fruit do the talking. You let your results echo the truth. The new version of you doesn't need to speak loudly. Your results roar. This is also the moment where you reclaim time. Time wasted on people who didn't value you. Time lost in loops of self-doubt. Time drained by carrying weights that weren't yours. You're no longer called to drag dead weight. You're called to soar. And to soar, you must be light. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally. That heaviness you once wore like a coat, it has to go. The crown doesn't fit over burdens. It rests on a clear, elevated mind. Everything that's coming to you now is tied to your refinement. You had to go through it, not to be punished, but to be polished. Because royalty cannot be reckless. And now that the crown is present, the version of you that emerges is more intentional, more measured, more magnetic. You no longer chase, you choose. You no longer hope, you know. You no longer tolerate, you transform. That is the way of divine royalty. There will be moments where the magnitude of this calling humbles you, and that's beautiful. Stay grounded, stay grateful, stay aware that this is not about status, it's about stewardship. The crown wasn't given to inflate your ego, it was given to elevate your assignment. There are lives connected to your obedience. There are destinies attached to your voice. There are atmospheres waiting to be shifted by your presence. And yes, the crown will bring visibility. But don't mistake visibility for validation. They are not the same. Just because you're being seen doesn't mean you're being supported. Some will see and still choose to misunderstand. Some will clap for you but secretly compete. Others will try to discredit what they didn't witness. Let them. Your crown doesn't come from crowds. It comes from the Creator. Let them speculate while you solidify. Let them guess while you govern. Let them gossip while you grow. Chosen one. This next chapter is not about proving anything. It's about becoming everything. Becoming the leader you once needed. Becoming the example you once looked for. Becoming the answer you once prayed for. You are not just here to collect blessings. You're here to become one. A walking answer. A living solution. A divine demonstration of what happens when someone surrenders fully to their assignment. You've been crowned not just for personal breakthrough, but to initiate collective elevation. Your rise is a signal to others that it's possible, that it's their turn too, that the crown can be worn with grace, not arrogance, with boldness, not fear. You are the proof that being chosen doesn't mean you won't be challenged, but it does mean you won't be crushed. Being crowned doesn't mean life gets easier. It means you get stronger, wiser, and more anointed. And from this place, you will begin to see supernatural acceleration. The people you need will appear. The resources required will locate you. The doors that matter will swing open. Not because you forced anything, but because you finally aligned with everything. This is what divine order looks like. It's not loud, it's powerful. It's not rushed, it's right on time. So move with royalty, walk with reverence, speak with wisdom, lead with light. There's a kingdom inside you and it's finally awake. No more playing small, no more over-explaining, no more apologizing for the light you carry. The world doesn't need another follower. It needs a crowned one who knows who they are, whose they are, and what they carry. You are that one. The moment you were waiting for is no longer in the future. It's in motion now. The shift is happening around you and within you. The energies are moving in your favor. The winds are blowing in your direction. The heavens have made their decision. You are it. You are now. You are crowned. Chosen one. Now that the crown rests fully on your life, the atmosphere around you is being recalibrated. You are becoming the standard, the signal, the shift. You are not just rising. You are redefining what it means to reign. Your energy is now a blueprint for alignment. Your presence is now a spiritual portal. When you speak, you activate. When you move, you create momentum. When you rest, the universe still works on your behalf because you are no longer operating from effort alone. You are aligned with essence. This phase of your life is about carrying the crown with composure. You are not moved by noise anymore. You are not reacting to every distraction. You are too focused, too favored, and too fortified to be shaken. The distractions that once lured you now seem petty. The doors you used to chase now open before you arrive. That's what happens when heaven has announced your arrival. You're no longer being prepared, you are being presented. And this presentation is holy. Chosen one, God decided. Supernatural rise has arrived. This is not just a phrase. It's your current reality taking shape. You've entered a timeline where the decision has already been made. Heaven has marked you, the seal has been set, and the moment is now. You are not climbing alone. You are not rising by chance. What is happening in your life is divinely orchestrated. The supernatural rise you are stepping into is not random. It is revelation. God decided. The universe agreed. And you are now walking into what was written before you were even born. You are not here watching this video by coincidence. Your presence here is confirmation that something powerful is already unfolding in the unseen. You were drawn to this moment because a divine download is being delivered straight to your soul. Stay with this message until the very end. Let it anchor into your spirit, and write your warmest wishes in the comments, along with the number 99. This is a sacred activation. Your wish is not just a hope, it's an energy signal to the universe. When you align your heart, your words, and your belief, you create the exact frequency that calls forth divine miracles. This is the moment to let your light expand and your desire soar. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's speak clearly. Something supernatural is rising in your life, and it cannot be stopped. It's not coming from external effort. It's emerging from your alignment with the divine. You're not being rewarded simply for what you've done, but for who you've become. You've been shaped in silence, forged in fire, refined in waiting. And now, without warning, heaven has whispered your name again. This time with fire, this time with favor, this time with a supernatural push that will thrust you into rooms you didn't apply to enter, circles you never sought out, and blessings so big that they will silence every doubt that tried to follow you. Your rise isn't subtle, it's supernatural. People will not understand it. Some will question how it's happening so fast. But the answer is simple. God decided. What took others years to build will arrive in your life within moments. Not because you forced it, but because it's yours. You are proof that divine timing still exists. And when heaven moves, no one can compete. No one can delay. No one can deny. Doors will open because they were programmed to respond to your presence. People will support you because they were instructed to. Resources will pour in because abundance has finally located the coordinates of your calling. Chosen one, you need to know this. You are not rising for attention, you are rising for assignment. There is purpose in your platform. There is weight behind your visibility. What's coming to you is not just meant to elevate your lifestyle, but to impact lives around you. And that's why your elevation must be supernatural. That's why God is taking control. That's why this rise is not temporary. It's permanent. You are not returning to the old version of yourself. You are not shrinking again to make others comfortable. You've crossed a line of spiritual transformation where nothing will ever be the same again. There were seasons where you felt stuck, where you were overlooked, underestimated, and misunderstood. You may have wondered why nothing seemed to be moving, why doors kept closing, why the wait was so long. But now you understand. It wasn't punishment. It was preparation. God was positioning you behind the scenes, molding you in silence so that when the spotlight came, your foundation would be unshakable. You didn't miss the blessing. You became the blessing. And now, the world is about to see it. They're about to witness your supernatural rise, one that came not from man's approval, but from divine intention. You're being accelerated, lifted, promoted in the spirit. This is the kind of rise that no resume can explain. You are being moved to the front of the line. Systems are bending in your favor. Laws are aligning to work for your benefit. Hidden helpers are emerging. Earthly circumstances are being overridden by heavenly decree. This is favor without formality. It's success without stress. It's miracles without measure. You're not being invited to a table. You're being given your own. And what God is placing on it will not just feed you. It will overflow to those who never thought abundance would come through someone like you. This rise is not only visible, it's spiritual. Your energy is shifting. Your aura is expanding. Your name is echoing in places your feet haven't yet walked. The realm of the spirit is celebrating what is now being revealed on earth. You are not dreaming. You are stepping into destiny. There are moments in history when certain individuals are chosen to reflect the power and promise of the divine. And chosen one, this is your moment. This is your history-defining hour. You are no longer waiting for the supernatural. You are walking in it. Yes, your voice is carrying new weight. Your presence now holds divine authority. This isn't ego, it's empowerment. You've been trusted with something sacred, something eternal. You were not randomly selected for this rise. You were divinely marked. And that's why no attack worked. That's why no betrayal could break you. That's why no setback could bury you. Because heaven had already written a plot twist with your victory in mind. The warfare was intense because your rise is significant. The pressure was enormous because your platform will be enormous. And now that it's time, there's no more delay. Don't be surprised when people from your past don't recognize you. Don't be shocked when opportunities you thought passed you by come chasing after you. Don't be alarmed when the supernatural becomes your new normal. You were called to operate on a frequency that defies logic. You were created to experience a level of blessing that isn't bound by earthly timing. The spiritual realm has released a green light. You've been cleared for liftoff. What's coming will look like a dream, but it will be your real, tangible life. This rise will be loud, it will be beautiful, it will be good. Stay alert, stay expectant, stay grounded. Because your life is shifting dimensions. People will talk, systems will shift, atmospheres will adjust. Because you've arrived in the room, and heaven is backing you. Chosen one, your supernatural rise is not about to happen. It has already begun. You may not have noticed it yet, but the shift is already happening beneath the surface. The spiritual climate around you has changed. Things that used to resist you are now being softened. People who used to ignore your presence are suddenly paying attention. Systems that used to delay you are being restructured. This is the supernatural current moving through your timeline. There's no warning, no flashing sign, just evidence that things are working for your good, silently, rapidly, divinely. And here's the truth, chosen one. This rise isn't just about you getting more, it's about you becoming more. You are becoming the version of yourself that was prophesied into existence before the world knew your name. The veil is lifting. The old limitations are falling off. This is why you've been feeling the pull in your spirit. This is why you can't settle. This is why you're feeling the call to walk away from what no longer fits. Because your new life doesn't recognize your old attachments. You're not just going up. You're going higher. And that means some things can't come with you. Don't apologize for your acceleration. Don't downplay your power. Don't shrink when people question your rise. You are being divinely elevated by forces that are unseen, and the ones who don't understand it aren't meant to. What God is doing in you cannot be explained. It must be experienced. You're not on a normal path anymore. You've entered the realm of rapid alignment. This is divine movement. This is the supernatural unlocking of blessings that were held until now. You've passed tests you didn't know you were taking. You've stayed faithful when no one saw your tears. And now you're stepping into the reward that only heaven could calculate. Let this be your confirmation. Your rise has already been approved. The wait is over. This is not rehearsal. This is not a test. This is the launch. Everything you've been preparing for is now responding to your energy. Everything you've visualized is magnetizing toward you. And it's not because of desperation. It's because of your decision to stay aligned, no matter how silent the season became. You didn't quit when the enemy expected you to break. You didn't fold when everything felt dark. You became stronger in the shadows. And now, the light has no choice but to find you. Let others wonder how you did it. Let them guess how it all came together so beautifully. They won't understand that it wasn't connections. It was covenant. It wasn't effort. It was elevation. It wasn't luck. It was legacy. God had already carved a path for you in the spirit, and your faith was the key that unlocked it. You were never behind. You were never forgotten. You were being hidden until the time was right. And now, heaven has declared, reveal. This rise is strategic. It's not flashy. It's foundational. You are being placed in rooms where your presence will change the entire atmosphere. You are carrying an energy that breaks chains, that lifts hearts, that awakens the divine in others. That's why it had to be you. That's why your journey was different. You had to be processed in isolation, so when your rise arrived, your character would carry what your crown could not. God didn't want to just give you success. He wanted to give you spiritual stamina. You're not just meant to rise, you're meant to reign. Chosen one, hear this in your soul. Your footsteps are guided by a force greater than your understanding. You will walk into blessings you didn't work for, but you were prepared for. You will find favor in places that once rejected you. You will rise above people who once tried to hold you down. Not by force, not by strategy, but by divine decree. There are things happening in your favor that you can't even see yet. Contracts being signed, names being mentioned, access being granted, doors being unlocked, and your name is being whispered with reverence because it's tied to a supernatural purpose. This season is about exposure. God is revealing you. Heaven is showcasing you. Not because you need validation, but because the world needs your vibration. The earth is groaning for voices like yours, for light bearers, for truth walkers, for spiritual leaders who rise not just for status, but for sacred transformation. And you, chosen one, were born for this. You are not a follower of trends. You are the blueprint of breakthrough. Others will rise because you showed them it was possible. Others will believe because they witnessed your resurrection from seasons of silence. That's why your pain was so deep. That's why your process was so long. You were being equipped with compassion. Your wounds became wisdom. Your losses became lessons. Your patience became power. And now, you carry a divine authority that cannot be copied. You're not speaking from theory. You're speaking from experience. You've walked through fire. You've cried in the wilderness. You've battled giants in private. And now, when you speak, heaven echoes. This is the new you, the divine you, the you who knows your power, the you who doesn't chase but attracts, the you who doesn't beg but commands, the you who doesn't fear change, because you are change. And everywhere you go, the frequency of transformation follows. People feel it. Systems shift for it. Energy bends to accommodate it. You are no longer just a person. You are a spiritual force wrapped in skin. And when you show up, things cannot remain the same. You're rising supernaturally, not just to be seen, but to be sent. You are heaven's ambassador in this dimension. That means you're carrying solutions. You're carrying healing. You're carrying elevation for others. You were not chosen to shine alone. You were chosen to lift others through your light. And every step you take is lighting a path for someone else. That's why your rise had to be real. That's why it couldn't be rushed. That's why it took time. Because now that you're rising, there is no turning back. And this is only the beginning. What you're seeing now is the first wave, the initial unveiling, the divine teaser before the full release. Your rise is coming in waves, each one bigger, more undeniable, and more supernatural than the last. Your job is to stay aligned, stay anchored, stay expectant, because the same God who started this is not finished. What's coming will not just change your life, it will make history. Chosen one, your supernatural rise has a rhythm to it. It's not chaotic. It's not rushed. It's unfolding in perfect divine order. While others scramble, you will soar. While others hustle, you will glide. Not because you are better, but because you are in alignment. You're moving with divine precision. Your rise has been set on a track that human minds can't predict. You're not playing by earthly timing. You're synced with heaven's calendar now. There is a quiet authority resting on you. You've noticed it in the way people respond to your presence. They sense the shift, but can't explain it. Something about you has changed. Something about your words now carries weight. That's not arrogance, it's assignment. When God chooses you for a supernatural rise, He marks your energy with evidence. People feel your elevation before they see it. And the reason you may feel more sensitive, more detached from your past, is because your soul already knows where you're going. The old version of you simply cannot survive. Let's be clear. This is not the rise that breaks you. This is the rise that builds you. This is not the fame that fades. This is the favor that multiplies. The success you are walking into is not a reward for popularity, it's a reward for obedience. While others looked away from divine truth for shortcuts, you stayed rooted in what mattered. You chose integrity when it was uncomfortable. You chose silence when you could have shouted. And now, that restraint is turning into spiritual acceleration. It's not that you're rising fast, it's that you're rising right. There's a divine order being followed. The people entering your life now are not distractions. They're assignments. The opportunities appearing are not coincidences. They're confirmations. You are no longer chasing manifestation. You are living it. Your thoughts are shaping your reality. Your energy is creating the path. Your frequency is attracting the divine. You've become magnetic to miracles because your heart is clean and your hands are open. You've entered the territory of suddenly. That's the supernatural zone. Suddenly, ideas will flow. Suddenly, doors will open. Suddenly, solutions will appear. And it's not because things got easier. It's because you got aligned. Heaven doesn't move by chance. It moves by choice. And God has chosen you. Not just to rise, but to elevate everything and everyone around you. You are becoming the proof that the supernatural still touches earth. You are becoming the evidence of what divine decision looks like in human form. Don't underestimate the authority in your presence now. Don't shrink back when people get intimidated. The light on your life will either awaken people or expose their shadows. And both reactions are proof that you are moving in purpose. You no longer have time to defend what God already confirmed. You no longer have energy to explain what only heaven understands. You are not here to convince. You are here to continue. Keep moving. Keep rising. Keep walking in the certainty that your supernatural moment is unfolding perfectly. This rise is not accidental. It was activated the moment you surrendered. You may not remember the exact day, but God does. The day you let go. The day you stopped forcing. The day you said, "I don't know how, but I trust you." That day changed everything. That day sent shockwaves through your destiny. And even when nothing seemed to shift on the outside, the heavens were roaring in response. You didn't see the roots, but the fruit is now showing. And every blessing coming your way now is fruit from that surrender. That's why you can't compare your rise to anyone else's. What's happening for you is tailored. It's sacred. It's strategic. It's not based on trends. It's not built on numbers. It's not measured by metrics. It's built on soul truth. It's measured in alignment. And what's coming will blow your mind. Not because it's flashy, but because it's perfect. Perfect for your soul. Perfect for your mission. Perfect for your next level. The supernatural always delivers more than expected because it's not bound by limits, and neither are you. Chosen one, let this next truth sink in. This rise has no ceiling. There's no point where it plateaus. You're not here to peak, you're here to ascend endlessly. New levels will continue to unfold. New insights, new allies, new wealth, new clarity. Every layer of growth will bring deeper purpose and more precise alignment. You are not reaching a final destination. You are flowing with divine direction. That's what makes this supernatural. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stall. It doesn't settle. And because of that, some people will exit. Some relationships will dissolve. Some environments will feel too small. Don't panic. That's the sign you've outgrown what no longer fits your frequency. You don't need to force what God is fading. Your rise will make others confront their own stagnation. And instead of dimming your light, you must rise brighter. This isn't a time for compromise. This is a time for clarity. The clearer you become, the faster things align. You're not being harsh, you're being holy. You're being sharpened for sacred influence. Even now, there are angels moving on your behalf, making preparations, paving roads, touching hearts. God is orchestrating divine timing with such precision that you'll walk into rooms and feel like you've been there before. Because spiritually, you have. You were shown this before it ever happened. You dreamed of this moment when no one else believed. You saw it in your spirit. And now, it's meeting you in reality. This is not delusion. It's divine memory returning to you. You're not just rising, you're becoming. Becoming the vision that was spoken over you long before you arrived here. You are not building blindly, you are remembering your sacred assignment. That's why your intuition is stronger. That's why your wisdom is increasing. That's why your discernment has leveled up. You are no longer asking for signs. You are walking as one. And when you walk like that, things start to move in ways that shock the world. When others are trying to figure it out, you are flowing in divine knowing. You're not begging for favor. You are the evidence of favor. You are not crying for validation. You are already chosen. You are not praying for permission. You were already approved. The rise has already been decided. Chosen one, you have entered a moment in your journey where your atmosphere will begin to respond to your presence before you even speak. You are not merely rising. You are becoming a carrier of divine energy. That means everything connected to you must shift to accommodate your new spiritual stature. The things that once felt normal will now feel too small. The environments that once held you will now feel too tight. And that's not a sign of arrogance, it's a sign of ascension. You've expanded beyond the limitations that once contained you. There's something holy about this level of rise. It carries a silence, a serenity, a sacredness. The spotlight may be loud, but your spirit remains calm. Because deep down, you know, this isn't hype, this is heaven. This isn't attention, this is assignment. You've learned to discern the difference between applause and alignment. And now, your decisions are no longer based on what looks good. They're based on what feels divinely right. That is power. That is purpose. That is what separates a worldly rise from a supernatural one. You're not just moving into more, you're becoming more. This rise is sculpting you, refining you, chiseling away everything that was attached to fear, doubt, or false identity. You're being reintroduced to your original self, the you that was always hidden under layers of survival. And that's why this season may feel unfamiliar. You're not just gaining, you're releasing old thoughts, toxic bonds, outdated dreams. Not because they were bad, but because they were beneath the version of you that's now emerging. And now, people will begin to feel it. The way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way your presence settles the room. You are moving in supernatural confidence, not pride, but presence. You're not trying to prove anymore, you're just being, and that is enough. Your existence, your alignment, your presence is a declaration of victory. You don't need to explain your process to anyone. Let them wonder, let them talk. Your rise will say what your silence never could. You are becoming the blueprint for those behind you. Others will watch your life and begin to believe again. Not because you were perfect, but because you were persistent. You didn't give up when it would have been easier to disappear. You didn't compromise when it would have been easier to conform. And now you're rising as a living testimony that supernatural shifts are real, that spiritual resilience wins, that heaven always delivers, right on time. You see, there are seasons when God hides you for your protection, but then there are seasons when God reveals you for His glory. You are now in the latter. And that's why the exposure is happening. That's why people are suddenly noticing your work, your wisdom, your voice. It's not a lucky break. It's a divine unveiling. You didn't just show up. You were summoned. And where you're going next will require you to wear your authority with grace and confidence. Do not question how fast it's happening. That's what the supernatural looks like. It doesn't follow a human timeline. It breaks it. It bends it. It overrides the natural order. You've stepped into the dimension where years of delay are being made up in weeks of favor, where decades of dryness are being erased by days of divine rain. The drought is over, the clouds have shifted, and the sky is now open over your destiny. Chosen one, your name is being carried on the wind. People you've never met are speaking about you in rooms your feet have never touched. And the reason is simple. Your spirit is louder than your voice. Your energy has gone ahead of you. The vibration of your faith has opened portals, and now things are being rearranged to make space for your entry. You're not walking into rooms, you're being welcomed. You're not asking for favor, you are favor in motion. And still, you've kept your humility. You've kept your heart pure. You've honored the process. That's why your rise will be sustained. Others rise through ego and fall from exhaustion. But your rise is sourced from spirit and it's eternal. It doesn't burn out because it doesn't come from you. It comes through you. You've become a divine conduit for miracles, a vessel of vision, a lighthouse for those lost in darkness. You are not meant to just experience elevation. You are meant to embody it. That means how you move, speak, give, love, serve. It all becomes part of the supernatural wave. You will begin to attract people who are ready to grow, who are ready to expand, who are tired of the surface and want to go deeper. And that is why your circle will change. Not because you're rejecting anyone, but because your spirit is vibrating at a frequency that only the healed, the hungry, and the called can match. This is no longer about survival. It's about spiritual wealth, emotional peace, legacy alignment. You're building something that will outlive you. And it starts with this rise. Heaven didn't just decide to bless you. It decided to build through you. That means every opportunity is sacred. Every connection is divine. Every open door is a sign that you are walking hand in hand with something much greater than yourself. So prepare yourself. Prepare your mind for downloads. Prepare your heart for new love. Prepare your space for overflow. Because what's about to come won't fit into the systems you used before. You'll need bigger containers, deeper trust, wider vision. This rise will stretch you, but it will never break you. You were made for this. You were chosen for this. And now it's finally here. And when the world asks you how it happened, you'll smile. Not because you're holding back a secret, but because you know the truth is too divine to put into words. You'll simply say, God decided. And that will be more than enough. You didn't stumble here by mistake. You were divinely positioned to hear these words because your soul already knew. It's time. Time to stop doubting the voice within you. Time to stop shrinking around small-minded expectations. Time to stand fully inside the greatness that's been following you your whole life. The rise you're experiencing isn't just an event, it's a return. A return to who you were before the world taught you to settle. A return to your power. A return to your purpose. A return to divine alignment. This is more than a promotion in the physical. It's an elevation in your spirit. The version of you that used to seek permission has been replaced with one that walks in authority. The you that used to wait for signs is now moving with clarity. You no longer need confirmation from others. You've been confirmed by the Creator. When God decides a thing, it becomes law. And your rise? It's been stamped. It's been sanctioned. It's already sealed. This is why your peace feels different now. You've stopped striving and started receiving. You're no longer pushing for things. You're being pulled by destiny. The inner war has ended. That constant questioning, that quiet ache, that longing to be seen, it has shifted into quiet confidence. into calm knowing. Because now you know, what's meant for you isn't running from you. It's racing toward you. The divine has remembered you. Your name has been marked with acceleration. Chosen one, let me remind you of something powerful. There were people who looked right at you and still didn't see you, who heard you but never listened, who walked with you but never honored your presence. And still, you kept showing up. Still, you kept giving. Still, you kept believing. That's the mark of the called. That's the resilience of the chosen. And because you stayed faithful when it was invisible, you are being rewarded when it becomes undeniable. You see, heaven never forgets the silent seeds, the tears you cried alone, the nights you encouraged others while fighting your own storms, the mornings you got up anyway, the moments you had every reason to give up, but chose to hold on. That strength didn't go unnoticed. It was witnessed. And now, it's being multiplied. The harvest is arriving in proportions so massive, it will feel surreal. But it's real. It's yours. And it's right on time. This supernatural rise is personal. God is not just lifting you. He is restoring what tried to break in the process. He's bringing peace to places in you that used to tremble. He's pouring wisdom into areas where you used to be confused. He's giving you back the years that were stolen by worry, betrayal, fear, and doubt. This is not just elevation. It's divine redemption. Every part of you is being made whole. And now, the ones who questioned you will witness the unfolding. The ones who dismissed you will watch the unveiling. Not for your ego, but for evidence. Evidence that faith still works, that purpose still wins, that destiny still speaks. You are the living message that when God says now, nothing can resist the flow. And chosen one, your now has been activated. Pay attention to the atmosphere around you. You're going to feel things start to break open. Connections forming out of nowhere. Resources flowing like rivers. Conversations aligning in divine timing. You'll start to notice the ease, the grace, the flow. That's your sign that the supernatural is leading the way. You won't have to chase anymore. You'll just walk, guided, grounded, and graced.